In the bustling city of Aba, there was a boarding school known for its strict rules and esteemed education. But for Nneoma, a shy girl with an extraordinary mind, it represented a new beginning. Growing up in a modest home, Norma learned the value of hard work from her mother, a local seamstress who stitched dreams into every piece of clothing. Her father, a kind hearted man, had taught her about honesty and integrity, even in tough times. Norma's love for books and learning made her stand out, but her quiet nature often pushed her to the sidelines. Leaving home for boarding school was a leap into the unknown, a chance to discover who she truly was. As her parents waved goodbye, Norma felt a mix of excitement and fear. She stepped into the school's grand gates, the towering buildings around her casting long shadows. This was a place where friendships would bloom, rivalries would ignite, and lessons would be learned, not just from textbooks, but from life itself. Little did she know the journey ahead would test her moral compass and resilience in ways she never imagined. On her first day, Norma met her roommate Adaeze, a lively girl with a contagious laugh. Adaeze had a way of making everyone feel very welcome, and soon Norma found herself smiling more than she had in a long time. Together, they explored their new home, but it wasn't long before they encountered the house mistress, Madame Ifeyinwa, a woman whose presence sent shivers down their spine and the spine of even the bravest students in the school. With her sharp eyes and voice that could cut through steel, she ruled the dormitory with an iron fist. Madame Ifeyinwa had a reputation for being sneaky. Students often whispered about how food and supplies would mysteriously disappear. Norma noticed the students' fear and resentment towards her, but rather than speak out, she kept her head down, focusing on her studies. Yet, a spark of determination flickered inside her. She couldn't ignore the injustice around her. As the weeks went by, Norma's friendships began to deepen. She became close with Chijioke, a smart boy who had a very beautiful smile and who shared the same passion as her for science. They spent hours discussing experiments and dreams of becoming innovators. But as their friendship grew, so did the whispers of jealousy in the dormitory. Some girls looked at Nneoma with disdain, feeling overshadowed by her brilliance and the attention she received from Chijioke. One evening, the girls devised a plan to humiliate Nneoma during the weekly talent show. They knew she had a very beautiful singing voice but was too shy to perform. As the night approached, they spread rumors, claiming Nneoma was a terrible singer. When her turn came, she stood trembling at the microphone, the spotlight burning bright. But as she started to sing, her voice soared through the hall, leaving the audience in awe. In that moment, she gained a newfound courage and respect. She was no longer just the shy girl, she was a star. However, with newfound popularity came new challenges. Madame Ifeyinwa took notice of Nneoma's rising status and decided to make her an example. One day, after just a minor issue, a forgotten book in the hostel, Nneoma was called to the house mistress's office. Instead of a warning, Madame Ifeyinwa unleashed her fury, punishing Nneoma with extra chores that left her exhausted. It was then that Nneoma realized she couldn't let fear rule her life. She confided in Adaeze and Chijioke, sharing her plans to expose Madame Ifeyinwa's thefts. Together, they began to gather evidence, sneaking around the school at night, hoping to catch the house mistress in the act. They formed a bond of trust, united by their desire for justice, but they were also aware that any misstep could lead to severe consequences. As the three of them delved deeper into their investigation, they stumbled upon a secret. Madame Ifeyinwa had a hidden stash of food in her quarters. It was a shocking discovery, and the thrill of their find ignited a fire within them. They spent late nights planning how to reveal the truth, but they also had to navigate their personal lives. Chijioke's feelings for Nneoma grew stronger, but he struggled to express them, fearing it would complicate their mission. Meanwhile, Adaeze began dating a charming boy named Uche, who was known for his playful nature. However, as their relationship blossomed, jealousy brewed within the dormitory and whispers of betrayal circulated. Nneoma watched as Adaeze became more absorbed in her romance, often leaving Nneoma and Chijioke to tackle their plans alone. The day of the big reveal approached. Armed with evidence and a growing sense of justice, Nneoma, Chijioke, and Adaeze decided to confront Madame Ifeyinwa during the school assembly. As they stood before the entire school, Nneoma's heart raced, her palms sweaty. But as she took a deep breath and spoke, her voice steady as she recounted the housemistress's wrongdoings. Gasps filled the hall. Students turned to each other in disbelief, and Madame Ifeyinwa's face twisted in rage. Just as she was about to retaliate, the headmaster arrived, having overheard the commotion. After a tense moment, he ordered an immediate investigation, and the housemistress was taken away, leaving the students in shock. With Madame Ifeyinwa gone, the atmosphere in the school shifted. Students celebrated their victory, feeling empowered by their collective bravery. Nneoma, Chijioke, and Adaeze felt a sense of ease that they had been missing before. But amidst the joy, a dark cloud loomed over Chijioke. He began to feel unwell, often complaining of fatigue and pain. Nneoma noticed but tried to brush it off as stress from the recent events. As weeks passed, Chijioke's condition worsened and the group's light-hearted moments became more scarce. Nneoma often found herself worrying about him, feeling helpless in the face of his struggle. It was during one of their late-night conversations that Chijioke finally revealed his diagnosis: cancer. The words hung heavy in the air and Nneoma's heart shattered. This brilliant boy, her dear friend, was facing the unimaginable. The news hit the school like a thunderclap. Students rallied around Chijioke, offering support and love, but the reality of his illness was harsh. Nneoma felt a deep sense of responsibility for him, wanting to be there every step of the way. They spent hours together, talking about dreams and hopes, and Chijioke's laughter became a rare treasure amidst their pain. Adaeze, now more concerned with her relationship with Uche, seemed distant, caught up in the drama of teenage love. Nneoma felt the strain between them as if they were drifting apart, and it hurt her deeply. The bond they had formed was being tested, and Nneoma often found herself feeling alone, even in a crowd. As Chijioke's health declined, Nneoma decided to organize a fundraising event to help cover his medical bills. She poured her heart into the project, rallying the students to contribute. Together, they planned a talent show where everyone should showcase their skills and raise money for Chijioke's treatment. The excitement in the air was palpable, and slowly the students began to come together, united by a common cause. However, not everyone was supportive. A group of jealous girls, feeling overshadowed by Nneoma's leadership, plotted to sabotage the event. They spread rumors about Nneoma, claiming she was only using Chijioke's illness to gain popularity. The whispers stung, and Nneoma felt the weight of their disdain. But she refused to back down, reminding herself of Chijioke's fight and the importance of their mission. On the night of the talent show, the auditorium buzzed with energy. Students performed songs, dances, and skits, each act more impressive than the last. Nneoma took to the stage, her heart pounding as she sang a song dedicated to Chijioke. Tears glistened in her eyes as she poured her soul into the performance, and the audience erupted into applause, their hearts touched by her bravery. But just as they were about to announce the total amount raised, chaos erupted in the back of the room. The jealous girls stormed in, attempting to disrupt the event. But the students stood united, chanting Nneoma's name and defending their cause. In that moment, Nneoma realized the power of community and how their struggles had brought them closer together. With the funds raised, Nneoma and her friends were able to provide Chijioke with the treatment he desperately needed. They accompanied him to the hospital, supporting and encouraging him every step of the way. But as the days turned into weeks, it became clear that the battle against cancer was not one he could win. The treatments were harsh, and Chijioke grew weaker, his laughter fading like a distant memory. Nneoma struggled to cope with the impending loss. She spent countless nights by his side, reminiscing about their dreams and the future they had envisioned together. Each conversation felt heavier, each word laced with the knowledge that time was running out. Nneoma's heart ached, and she wished desperately for a miracle. As the school year progressed, the weight of Chijioke's illness hung over the campus like a dark cloud. Nneoma noticed a shift in Adaeze as well. Uche had become distant, leaving Adaeze feeling lonely and uncertain. In her search for comfort, she turned to Nneoma, seeking solace in their friendship. They began to reconnect, sharing memories and dreams. But the specter of loss loomed large. One evening, as they sat outside the stars, Adaeze opened up about her fears. What if Chijioke doesn't make it? What will we do? Her voice trembled, and Nneoma felt tears prick her eyes. We will remember him, Nneoma replied, her heart heavy. He taught us to fight, to believe in ourselves. In that moment, they forged a pact, a promise to honor Chijioke's spirit no matter what. As the school prepared for the end of the year exams, Nneoma found herself torn between studying and spending time with Chijioke. She wanted to excel academically, but her heart was anchored to her friend. One day, during a visit to the hospital, Chijioke asked her to promise to pursue her dreams, no matter what happened. You have a gift, Nneoma. Don't let anything hold you back, he said, his voice weak but filled with determination. Those words echoed in her mind as she returned to school, where the pressure of exams loomed. She poured her heart into her studies, determined to honor Chijioke's wishes. But the burden of grief weighed heavily on her, and she often found herself staring blankly at her books, lost in thoughts. Then came the day no one had prepared for. Nneoma received a call that Chijioke had taken a turn for the worse. Rushing to the hospital, her heart raced with fear. When she arrived, she found him surrounded by his family, his expression peaceful yet frail. Nneoma took his hand, tears streaming down her face. I'm here, Chijioke, she whispered, her voice cracking. I'll always be here. As the sun set outside, Chijioke took his last breath, leaving Nneoma shattered. The world around her faded, and the grief enveloped her like a thick fog. She was lost, consumed by the weight of loss, and the promise she had made felt unbearably heavy. How could she move forward without him? The days following Chijioke's death were a blur. Nneoma struggled to navigate school, her heart a storm of emotions. Friends offered their support, but nothing could fill the void. Adaeze, still grappling with her own feelings of loss and guilt, tried to reach out, but Nneoma often pushed her away. She felt as if she were drowning in a sea of sorrow, and the laughter that once filled their lives had been silenced. One evening, as she sat alone in her dorm room, Nneoma found the letter Chijioke had written before his passing. In it, he encouraged her to pursue her dreams and to never stop believing in herself. Reading these words reignited a flicker of hope within her. She realized that while Chijioke was gone, his spirit would always guide her, and she would honor him by living fully, just as he had wished. With a newfound determination, Nneoma began to channel her grief into action. She organized a memorial for Chijioke, inviting students to share their memories and celebrate his life. The event brought together the entire school, uniting them in their shared loss. Laughter and tears filled the room as stories were shared, and Nneoma felt a warmth spread through her heart, a reminder that love never truly dies. In the months that followed, Nneoma focused on her studies and her dreams of becoming a scientist. She poured herself into her work, determined to make a difference in the world just as Chijioke had dreamed. Adaeze stood by her side, and together they fought against the shadows of their past, finding strength in their friendship once more. As the graduation approached, Nneoma stood at the threshold of a new chapter in her life. She had faced heartbreak and loss, but she had emerged stronger, fueled by the memory of her beloved friend. The lessons she learned in boarding school about friendship, resilience, and the importance of standing up for what is right would guide her as she stepped into the future. On the graduation day, Nneoma delivered a heartfelt speech, sharing her journey and the impact Chijioke had on her life. Life is precious, she said, her voice steady. We never know how much time we have, so let us make it count. Let's lift each other up, embrace our dreams, and never forget those who have inspired us. The audience erupted into applause, and as Nneoma looked out at her classmates, she felt a sense of hope. In that moment, she knew that no matter where life took her, she would carry Chijioke's spirit within her, a guiding light in her journey, a reminder to live boldly, to love fiercely, and to always strive for a brighter tomorrow. Thank you for listening to this amazing story. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and share for more amazing stories like this on Stories with Nneoma. Thank you. See you in the next story. Bye.